Today we are going to start with the lesson 3 with the grammar, unit 6 on page 84. As usual, here we have the goals of our lesson objectives. The students will be able to report a speech in the correct tense. I think yesterday we talked about, the reported speech not in details, to use the correct tense to report a question, and the students will be able to change the pronouns and verbs of time correctly in reported speech, to replace the word say with the suitable words. These are again, the objectives. Now look at your books on page 84. Open your books on page 84. Again, here we have what? Reported speech. Reported. Look here. Look at the tenses. Now here we have two parts of the reported speech. We have the direct speech, the speaker's words, and reported speech when we ask what did he say? What did he say? He said that, and so on. Look here. Look at the sentence. He said, I live in London. Now, if I ask you, what did he say? You will report his speech. He said that he lived in London. Now, what did we do here?
We change the present to past.
Good. So here we have the first thing that we have to take in our consideration is the tenses. Simple present, change into simple past. He said, I live in London. These, you realize here we have a quotations. We have quotations. It means that, the speaker's words, not your words. Now, if you want to report directly, change the simple past into simple present into simple past. Look here, look at the second example. He said, my teacher is writing a test. Who can report the sentence?
Can I?
Yes, there.
He said that my teacher wrote a test, or was writing.
Good, was writing. Now, what about my? Should
His
we change
teacher.
it? His teacher. Good. So here we have two things that we have to take in our considerations. The tense, change, the simple present into past, and, the pronouns. Here we have my, change into his. We are talking about someone. He said, my teacher is writing a test. Now, if you want to report, we will say, he said that his teacher was writing a test. You realize that here we have simple what? Simple present, present progressive, change into simple past, past progressive. Who can change it? He said, I cleaned the car. Yes.
Okay.
Anwar?
He said,
Anwar.
Oh, okay. He said, I cleaned the car, reported speech. He said that he was cleaning his car.
Be careful. Here we have simple past. Change into past perfect.
He said that he had cleaned his car.
Good. And then here we have to change the tenses. If it is present, change into past. If it is past, change into what? Past perfect. And the pronouns. So you have to be careful with the pronouns. I, he, according to the speaker. If we have here she, we will say she. He said, I cleaned the car. He said that he had cleaned the car. Yes. Who can do the next? Adnan?
she said, I have just finished the project. She said that she just finished the project.
Finished or had just finished? Have
had finished.
finished.
That's perfect.
Yes. change into past perfect. Present perfect, change into past perfect. She said, I have just finished the project. So if you want to report, we can say, she said that she had just finished the project. Look at the last sentence. She said, I can stay at home. Here we have a model, can. Yeah.
She said I could stay at home.
Good. She said that she could stay at home. You realize I change into she and can change into what? Could. So these are, the rules or the things that we have to do. Present simple in a purported speech, past. Present progressive, past progressive. Past simple, past perfect. Present perfect, past perfect. Models, change it to past models. Can, could, will, would, may, might, and so on. So this is about, the reported speech. Who can read the examples quickly? Adnan?
Reported speech, direct speech, simple present. I have a brother and sister. He said that he had a brother and a sister. I don't like
Good.
mangoes. She said that she didn't like mangoes.
Good. You realize here, have, don't like, these are what simple present. In reported speech, we change them into past simple. Good. The present progressive.
I'm talking to Mary. She said she was talking to Mary. Simple past. I learned English in Canada. He said he had learned English in Canada. Present
Good.
perfect. I haven't seen the film yet. Changes to past perfect. She said she hadn't seen the film yet. Models. I'll see you later. She said she would see them later. I can't come to the meeting. He said he couldn't come to the meeting. I have to or must go to the doctor. She said she had to go to the doctor. We may be late. She said that we might be late. Note the word that may be omitted after said.
Thank you very much. So this is about, the first point about the reported statements. Reported statements. Now we want to change into reported questions. We use the reported speech. Read the when we are telling someone.
When we are telling someone what another person said or thought, but do not use their exact words.
Good. Ali said that he wanted to live in Jeddah. Okay, when you want to repeat or report someone words. Here we have another note. Question marks are not used in reported speech at all. Verb tenses, pronouns, and some time and the place words may change because of the time, the place, and the speaker may be different. When we report a statement, we use reported verbs such as say, tell, explain, inform, answer, and usually often followed by that. He said that. He told me that, and so on. Okay, now here we have some examples that we are going to. Now who can report the sentence? I need to run some test. I need to run some test. Yes, Anwar? The doctor said?
The doctor said that he needs to run some tests.
Are you sure? Needs or needed?
Oh, okay. The doctor said that he needed to run some tests.
Good, because here in reported speech, we have to change the tense. Simple present, change into simple past. Good. I will not raise taxes. Adnan.
He said he won't raise taxes.
He won't?
Or he would not raise taxes.
Would not. Good. He said that he would not raise the taxes. Good. Yes, the storm destroyed parts of the city. Here we have simple past. Yes, Dia.
The storm had destroyed parts of the city.
Good, very good. He said that the storm had destroyed, parts of the city. Good. Yes, my team is ready for the match. You can try. Hamza, are you here?
Yes, teacher.
He said.
He said
Our
my
coach.
team is ready for the match.
He said that his team. Here we have, simple present change into simple past. Was. The coach said his team was ready for the match. Just we report his words. The killers has escaped from the prison. Yes, Adnan.
The cop said that the killer had escaped from the prison.
Good. Had escaped. Here we have present perfect change into
Past.
past. Policeman said that the killer had escaped from the prison. Now, the second part of the grammar here, we have how can we report the questions. And if you remember, we have two kinds of questions. WH questions were yes no questions. Look here. Here we have a yes no question. He asked, is he happy? You realize here we put the question before what? Between quotations. And here we have to put a question mark. Now, if you want to report, we will say not he said, he asked. Now, in this question, we do not have a WH question, so we have to put if. He asked if, and we have to change the order of the what of the question. And reported the questions, we have to change the words, not being interrogative form. Yes, do it as a statement. He asked if he was, not was he happy. And you have to change what? The tense. Is become what? Becomes what was. He asked, do you like to study? Who can try? Dia.
Can I?
He asked if he likes to study.
Good. Or you change it to I. If I liked. Here we have simple present. Change into what? Simple past. He asked if I liked, because the question is for you. Do you like? He asked me if I liked to study. He asked. We can say he asked me, or he asked if I liked. You realize we change you into I, and simple present into simple past. Yes, Adnan. He said, did she work?
Yes, he said did she work? He asked if she had worked, or if she had worked.
Good, thank you. He said if she had worked. Good, because here we have simple past, and we have to change the order of the question. He asked if she had worked. She asked why was he absent. Even here we have simple past, and but we have WH question. There is no need to put if. Anwar, he asked, or she asked.
She asked why was he absent. It will be.
Why? Yes.
She asked why he had been absent.
Why he? We have to change. Why he was changed into a past perfect. Had been absent.
Had been, yes. Why
Good.
he had been.
He asked why he had been absent. The last. She said, where do you live? Here a WH question. Dia.
She said, where had I lived?
Where I lived. Because here we have simple present. Where did you live? She said, she asked me where I lived. Good. So this is about, you know, the questions.
I have a question.
for- Yes.
Can we say she asked me where did I live?
No. Where I lived. Or if it is in the past, where did you live? He asked me where I had lived. We have to change the order. In reported questions, you have to what? To change the order of the sentence, not being, you know, as a question. It must be as a statement. Who can read? Yes, Anwar.
I reported the question. How old are you? He asked how old I was. Where
Good.
were you last night? She wanted to know where we had been the night before.
Good, thank you. If there is no question word, use if. Are you a student? He asked if Tom was a student or if I was a student. Look here. Read, Adnan.
In reported WH questions, we use the WH word plus the subject and the verb. We don't use the interrogative form of the verb do, does, or did, as it is an indirect question. No question, as it is an indirect question, no question marks are used.
Good. We do not use the interrogative form. In other words, we have to change the order of this sentence. Not are you, it will be you are, or I was. Did you enjoy the dinner party? She asked if. We put if because there is no WH question. If they had enjoyed. Change you into what? They. We can put what? I. She asked if I had enjoyed the dinner party. Now word change in reported speech. Who can read? Diya.
Okay. Word changes in reported speech. In reported speech, some words may be different from those in the original sentence. I did my homework already. Todd said that he had done his homework already. The plane is arriving now. Mary said that the plane was arriving then or at that time. Note, the following time expressions change in reported speech. Now becomes at that time. Today becomes on that day. Tomorrow becomes the day after or the next day. Yesterday becomes the day before.
Thank you. So again, when we report, we have to take in our consideration the tenses, changing the tenses, simple present into past, simple past into past perfect. Then here we have to change the pronouns I, he, my, his. And you know, this depends on what the one who reported the question and you know the speaker. Also, we have to take in our consideration, you know, changing, you know, the time expressions. Like, for example, yesterday. مثلا, I did my homework yesterday. You want to change? You will say, he said that he had done his homework the day before. Yesterday becomes the day before. Tomorrow, the day after, the next day. Now, at that time. Today, that day, and so on. Look here. Place changes here, there, this, that, and so on. Time changes now, then, or at that time. Today, that day. Tomorrow, the next day, or the day after. Yesterday, you know, the day before. These are the changes. Personal pronouns changes. Whether you can change into he or she, you, all the pronouns, I, he, etc. We, they, me, him, her, etc. Possessive pronouns, my, maybe her or his, according to the speaker. Your, my, his, her, etc. Our, their, and so on. And reporting verbs. Read, Adnan.
Reporting verbs. A variety of verbs with different shades of meaning can be used in the place of say. Yes, it's a good idea. My friend agreed it was a good idea. Of course, I did my homework. Tom assured the teacher that he had done his homework. An indirect object is always used after tell. He told me that he had studied English in the States.
Good. So not always we can, just use say. He said. We can say, for example, he agreed, he assured, and he asked, he wanted to know, he told me. Now, if we use told, we have to put, an object. Okay, here we have on page 85, sorry. These messages were left on the family's answering machine. These are the answers, from 1 to 5. We reported, the sentences, the messages. He said that he might work late that night and that he had to finish a report. You can have a look later.
Do we need to write them?
No. Okay, now look at exercise B here. Hamid took a message for his brother. Complete what he wrote down using the correct form of the verbs. Then write the possible telephone conversation between Hamid and Abdullah's friend Said. Hi, bro. Yes, Dia. That friend of yours, Said.
That friend of yours, Said, called this morning.
Called this morning. Yes. He asked where you.
Can I solve?
Yes, Anwar.
He asked where you had been and why.
Or where. Both of them are correct. Good. And why you. Sorry. Nurdin.
Number what, teacher?
Number 3. Just
Okay.
read it. It is here. Didn't call.
Why you hadn't called him
Good.
last night?
Hadn't called him last night. He said he what? Yes, Adnan.
He left a message or had left.
Good. Left or had left. 6. He had left him at. Sorry. Number 5. I tell here, it will be what? Told him. I told him at Nurdin. Not be.
I told him it was okay.
Wasn't. Good. Wasn't any of my business what you did. Who can continue? Adnan. I think he felt bad.
I think he felt bad. He apologized, and I told him it was okay.
Good. It was okay.
Complete?
Yes.
Anyway, he asked me to tell you that he had a surprise for you and that he
had a surprise for you. Yes.
Can I solve?
Yes. Anwar, continue.
Had a surprise for you and that he would come to our house at 5 o'clock tonight.
Would come to our house at 5 o'clock tonight. He also said you should wear something warm because he. يلا يا مالك.
10.
Number 10, yes.
Would take.
Would take you to a mountainous place. He said that he. Yes, Dia.
Can I answer?
Dia.
He said that he couldn't call you.
Couldn't call you during the day because he had to work. So this is about, the reported speech. This is about the reported speech. Now you can go to homework. Go to your homework, please.